Hey folks, we are beginning a new project today. We're going to do some book cover painting commissioned by Joseph Vargas, also known as Ukulele Bard, for his upcoming RPG book, Reclaimant. So give me a second here to check my signal, make sure everything's coming through clean, and then we'll dive into this for an hour or so of some ideation today. And then we'll dive into this. There we go, that looks good. And let me just check my signals here real fast. Looks like everything's coming through okay there, and boop, boop, boop. So I'm just going to punch my signal here real quick. And hey, my name's Phil Kearney. I am a role-playing game content creator. And hey, Hornetico. I create role-playing games. I'm also do artwork. Obviously, I'm doing a commission for a book cover right now. The work that I create is always as PDFs that I publish online. You can actually see a collection of the work that I produce on DMsGuild.com, which is links down below. And all the work that I produce is always 100% free preview. You can click through any of the books that I've created, flip through the 150 some odd illustrations that I have as artwork in there to check it out. But right now we're going to be focusing our attention on basically doing some ideation book cover work here. Just give me a moment here to finish boosting my signals across the interwebs, and then we'll dive into this. Hold on real quick. And there. Good. I've just posted that I'm live on Twitter. You can see a link to me in Twitter down below at Phil Kearney. Let's see. Bloop. And so if you want to get notifications when I'm live in the future, you can follow me on Phil Kearney at Twitter as well. Other way to support the channel is to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get notifications when I'm active in the future. So without further ado, we are going to get into some ideation here today. So let's see what we are doing. I wasn't aware Ukulele was doing it on TTRPG. Yeah! Ukulele was my design partner on the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration system, and he was a really big help in doing design and basically mathing out mechanics behind the entire command system for guilds, kingdoms, and armies that are ongoing development that the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book is a part of. So he's wicked good with math and statistics. He's got a really stable head on his shoulders. He's done a number of different RPG design systems. He's worked in 5e, Pathfinder. He's built his own RPG using specifically D4s in the past. And I'm not sure of the mechanics that go on behind Reclaimant here, but basically the gist of this, the quick elevator pitch that he gave to me was that this is basically Industrial Revolution era world where Yggdrasil, the world tree, has sprouted on the planet. And basically nature is at war against humanity as it enters the Industrial Revolution. Nature is fighting back with all the gusto that you can anticipate from nature. So that's kind of a fun idea. The actual gig, the assignment is to create a landscape type environment, something along these lines, with Yggdrasil rising from the earth as sort of a centerpiece with landscape, potential ruin, or city, Industrial Revolution city type stuff in the environment as well. So these are some of the image samples that were provided for me. So those are just references. Here's the framing that we have for basically the title plate, the ukulele's logo down here, the byline here. This is a border that we created, this white border here over this grayscale back block. Basically, it's going to be margin to margin with no bleeds is the full cover that we're going to do. But I wanted to have this margin in mind for detail. Like, I shouldn't be doing any kind of detail work at all outside of this gray box area. It's margin. It's basically thumb space. So I shouldn't have any kind of really interesting details. The majority of details needs to be inside of this block, inside of this. Let's set ourselves up to win here real quick. It should be inside of this space. But I can do background stuff here, and I can do background stuff here. But I need to be mindful of having a low color saturation in those areas so they won't conflict with grabbing the attention of the title plate and the byline. And I want to have a low amount of contrast. So low saturation, low contrast, so that there's a fairly uniform color / grayscale going on behind the text areas so that it's still easy to be able to pull the letters, the words off of the cover, regardless of what artwork is back there. That's just good design for book covers in general. Generally, you want to have, just as a general tip, when you're creating book covers, you want to have the dressing available, or at least a close-up like this, a close approximation to what the dressing is going to be, so that when you build your composition, you're not going to be having any critical areas in conflict with the technical information, i.e. the title, the byline, the logo, whatever else is necessary. So you have to be thinking about that sort of stuff. So right now, all we're really doing is just ideation and sketching. So we're going to, let's see, what is our dimensions here? This is a, what are those called? Not journal, fuck, I can't, not pocketbook. I can't remember the word for the type of formatting of book that it is, but it's, as you can see, it's about 6 inches by 8 inches. So it's a small space, about like this, that the book cover is actually going to be. Pamphlet, not pamphlet. Fuck. The word is there, and I can't remember it anywhere. We're at a high 300 DPI resolution, which is plenty sufficient for PDF format stuff, but should also, in color formatting, should print clean as well if he chooses to go with a POD option like on TTRPG or IO or wherever. So this grayscale box isn't something I want to keep, but it's just something that I want to be aware of during this process, so that anytime I can turn this on or off. So I'm going to actually drop it down behind the trash line and make that disappear. Have this here. And we're just going to do some doodling. Got about an hour or so. It's 1 o'clock here in Seattle. Give myself an hour or so. Now, our goal here is to create just a couple sketches that fill the space that Ukulele can pick between to see which one he likes. The next step after that would be creating a color palette that will help set the tone for the page altogether. And once we have the sketch and the color palette selected for the piece in general, I then go back and do detail work. I can create. It shouldn't be too heavy of a lift. I have until, I guess, the end of July to get this done. That is not going to be heavy lifting for me at all. So I can just pick at this casually and still be able to hit deadlines. So we're talking about Yggdrasil, the world tree, overwhelming the earth. And we have to worry about having a kind of a dead space between the title and the byline at the bottom. So right off the bat, that's telling me that we can afford to have the world tree just dominating the top of this space here. I don't know if this is the right way to do it, but this is how I'm starting. Just to have Yggdrasil in general be present on the page. Again, I don't know what the right way to do this is actually supposed to be. 1 is too little. 2, 3, 4. 4 should be good. So let's try that again. I'm going to go with a lower. Size brush. Just to be here like this. So we are, like I said, world tree, Yggdrasil, massive structure, overwhelms the planet. So something like this should be a decent way to start. I don't know if this proportion is correct or not, but we'll figure it out. We're just gonna do some doodling. Just gonna let the doodles do. Let the doodle do. Yeah, see, I don't want to have... Already not happy with that. Let's go with something a little bit further back into the background, like that. And then set a horizon line here. This is basically, we have the opportunity here to basically build a Bob Ross style painting of layering, different mountains, environmental stuff, hills, and then like a river system here, and then a bluff, and then like forest. But this tree is still just overwhelming the presence of the board. Potentially be here, something like this. Gray zone out like that. Just some light sketching here. See what makes sense. Some forest stuff going on over this way. We'll do 2, maybe 3 different sketch ideas in general. I want to do like a really distant, real distant sort of, like I could do like I want to keep this, like this area here needs to remain fairly unadorned as well. So currently I'm kind of thinking like a river pouring out into a sea. That would be a really great reason to have a community down here. I build out little community down this way. Something like that. Really want to emphasize distance here. Like the more I can, like if I can take this here, cut this out like that, cut, paste, and then like drop this down into a lower opacity so it's further in the background. So it has that just like natural fade sort of feeling to it. Like this. There, and then like this. So the way the hills roll into each other, you want to have it working with the land here. Like we have this like river thing going on here. So we want to have the curve of this water here working with the land. So wherever there's a bend in the water, it's because of how the valley system works. Like if I have a number of hills like this, then the water has to wind between those hills at the lowest point of elevation between them. So when you're making these curves, you can naturally have the elevation, topography of the environment change to work with where the river is going to. So in that sense, you can create layers of depth, like you see with Bob Ross, creating these different layers of foreground, midground, background, extreme background, and then atmosphere and the furthest back. And so we can go here, and while we have the little community here that we're starting to build out here, and that's quickly going to drop back into obscure structures like that. And create little villagey stuff like this, but we can have, again, since this is a hilly region, we can have a hill here in the foreground cut off the feet, the feet, as it were, of the community. Like, we don't have to necessarily show where this village is like rooted into the environment, because this foreground village, this foreground here helps with some forest work going on here. Can cut off where the actual community starts. You have like this water line opening up like this, which can create a water effect like that, and then open this up so that the water is, so that so all this water here that's opening up can spill out and create a fairly monotone, like pale blue behind here, and then I can have a pale blue here, and like he's suggesting like a purplish fiery effect in the sky, right? And here that's more of a blue green, and here it's more of a pale blue. So I'm thinking a purplishness like this, maybe not this dark, but a purplishness, like a really sharp purple that he has going on up here, would be complementary to like a fairly unsaturated blue here in the foreground, to help balance like unsaturated blue down here, sharp purple up around here, fading out, and then having atmospheric blue with like maybe storm clouds or something rolling around in the back. That's one potential take on it. It doesn't take much to be able to create little sketches like this. I do want to do like a sort of foresty sort of effect going on here. But we can do the foreground here. We can get more treesy sort of stuff here. I think this is lacking dramatic effect, though. Something like that, and then here like this. It's an idea. That's like an idea. Idea one. Yeah, let's see. How are we sitting inside our space? Very good. Now let's take this from a different angle. Let's go more like... I still think having like tree stuff up here makes a lot of sense because it's really easy for us to be able to do a washout up here, but there could be a more interesting way to be able to build this out. I want to get the curvature of the planet here on the far horizon. Masses like this. More like this, like a little foresty sort of something up front. Like little birds flying here. In front of the tree to get a sense of scale. Like just a little bit of spot of like little birds like this is enough to get an idea of just how big this tree is. Or that like this isn't foreground and this is background, like this is all the same background. But I also don't want to show where the tree roots. It's like we can do an obscuring thing like this so that it kind of fades out so you don't see where that goes. But still have environmental stuff like this. Like here's some forest going on over here. A bluff leads down further in the forest like this. Here. And then you have Forest here. Do a little waterway over here. Too linear. There's also this weird lean going on here that I don't like, so I want to change. Actually, I can probably do that best by going like this and then free transform. Like that. Distant forest back here like that. Thank you, Timer. Make that smaller. More land mass over yonder. That's a second take. There's one. There's two. I'm wondering. I think I might be able to do something more interesting than that. Idea 3. Let's do that. Get rid of that spiral. Go back to the tree here. Foliage. What happens if we free transform, flip horizontal now, baby? Pull this over here like that. I kind of like that angle a lot. Kind of like that a lot. Let's see. There, and then we're gonna have a, I kind of like that like that. I like that like that. Words, Kearney. Okay, let's duplicate. No, I meant duplicate, not delete. Thank you. Duplicate. Duplicate this layer. Let's ungroup those layers. Grab this like this. Get rid of that stuff. Drop this train back in. Take this again and free. Continue to flatten that down a bit. What we need to do is make sure we have enough environment here. Oops, too much. copse foreground here. Bluff. Neat little terrain bluff here with some trees that break, that, you know, come in here and break up the horizon. Got some tullies like that. Town like that. Still good. There, like that. All the way back to the back. Follows that same curvature of the mountains. I don't know what words I'm trying to use here. Do a little fun little forest stuff like that. Into the there, so we got foreground here, we got a midground here, we got a further back here, we've got a mountain range here, we got a Yggdrasil here, and then we got sky stuff going on like that. So I actually think this is probably the strongest of the compositions. Looming storm sort of something going around like back like that. Straighten up this tree line a little bit. Like that. Here. There. That's pretty cool. I like that. As like that's not bad. There's some interest here. I think that's kind of cool. Build in. We'll merge that in. Stop. First idea, okay. Second idea, third idea. I think that third idea is the strongest. This feels the strongest compositionally. What can I do to do more of you? Do something like this. That and then boop, 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 boop. There, we'll spot in some stuff like that, and then burp, burp, burp. Probably actually flatten this out some. Maybe we go like transform like that. What the? Yeah, get out of here. No. Something went wonky. Oh, my shift button's locked down. That explains a lot. Thank you. My shift button's been sticking lately. Caused me no end of grief. I feel like I should have like a little bit more space open here to breathe a little bit better. I want to bring this down like that. something like that. Brush that in like that. I lost something there. Something just got lost. Interesting. Let's take that all back. Huh. Let's take that back. Let's bring that down a touch. And then we can take this and bring it up. Oh yeah? So far, this is my favorite. Something like something. Burp, burp. Something like this is, I think where we're going to end up being at. We do. Yeah, maybe. All right, that's probably enough for me to get some feedback. Let's see what Ukulele wants from there. I just feel like this is, it almost feels more like a mushroom cloud than a tree. So I definitely like this version better. Initial take. I mean, there's plenty of foreshortening and environmental stuff and topography we can do with this. So I mean, it's not bad, but I don't necessarily like the tree being in the foreground. This one's okay, but it seems too mushroomy. Yeah. All right. So this is just an ideation phase. I wanted just to produce some quick sketch ideas to make sure that things are sitting the way. I had to tune out a bit. Definitely looks sick. Right on, man. Thanks. It's So I'm going to. Well, it's up to Ukulele to see which one he wants, but obviously I'm more jazzed about this one, this third version than the other two. I think there's just a lot of opportunity here, and the resolution is high enough that I can get in here real close and like build out some decent structures. I have some foreground forest here, some topside pine, get some forest stuff going, or like some snow top up here to help indicate get some like frost going along the branches up along the trunk here. I think this is going to be a good one. And then we can do some really cool atmospheric stuff here. I think this is the best. I think this is the best solution, but we'll see. We'll see if he agrees, or there may be something about that and this that he likes in combination somehow. Like we could potentially have this sort of initial topography here, but then here in the background, instead of the tree being in the foreground, let's do that for a few minutes. Let's see if let's duplicate this layer. Push that to there. Let's take this and just, whoa, that is not what I wanted to do. Oh, fuck you. I don't know how to redock that thing, so I'm gonna have to shut it down and open it back up again. All right, so let's take this, just erase it. Here. Let's see what happens if we do this. I just think it's a stronger composition overall. I agree. But it will not be up to me in the end. Let's do this. See, yeah, that doesn't. I mean, that's a huge tree on the horizon, duh. But I just don't think it. I just don't think it sits as pretty. Flip. Not as good. take number 1, take number 2, take number 3, take number 4. I think number 4 is the strongest. It's just compositionally 4 is by far just the best out of these pieces. Idea 2, and then we'll go to idea 3, idea 4. I've been given a lot of leeway on the production of this thing, but hey, Dennis. Yeah, it'll be fun. It's all about Yggdrasil sprouted from the earth during the Industrial Revolution, and I guess the theme of it is nature is at war with humanity's advancing technology into the Industrial Revolution. So I think, if I understand, it has like a plant elemental spirit adversary sort of versus human industrialism. I think that's the take on it, which is a cool theme. And you can have characters on both sides of the equation, so I'm hip to that. Yeah. Ba ba da ba ba da ba ba da ba. So this is going to let me do some badass Bob Rossage. Hold on real quick. I'm going to go fetch. I'm going to go fetch some samples real quick. Yeah, it's a good piece. I agree. Let me go fetch some. Let's see. Try and help. Here, I'll fetch some samples here real quick. Here's a piece I produced, and here's a piece I produced. And here's a piece I produced. So this is a Grand Tetons in Montana that I painted. As you can see, this is using some of the stippling that I do for forestry and some rough cloud work. But these are all different brushes that I use, and when you pan out, it tricks the eye. The illusion there is that it actually looks pretty good as far as like scrubbage goes. And then this piece here was something I made. This is Dice Try's logo. Dice Try is he's like one of the premier philosophers in color in the MTG Color Pie philosophy place. All his videos are all about like what is the color identities of like the white, blue, black, red, green array of the color pie, and like what does that mean for like character or organization, philosophies and mentalities and characteristics and attitudes. I'm a Patreon supporter of Dice Try, and he recruited me to create this cover. So this is more forestry type topography stuff that I've created, mountain work, a massive structure in the background. But it's got the atmospheric disturbance stuff going on with the background there. And then this was just a Centaur Knight versus a Drake on a cliff's edge overlooking, again, more of this hill type idea. So these are all different types of terrain language, natural stuff. I don't know the words I'm looking for right now, but these are samples of like the type of rendering I plan on doing into this. Like when we get down to this area, like you can see similarities to like how this bushwork here, like this scrubbery here and here, would also fit into the foreground here. And then once we get into this mid-ground back here, we'd be looking more like stuff like this or like this. And then once we get way back here in the mountains back here, we'd be looking more at like this Grand Teton sort of effect back here. So you have these different amounts of like atmospheric perspective where you have less detail the further back you push into the page. And then we'll be able to have Yggdrasil here have some of that same faded language, but then we can play with the lighting in the sky, the coloration, the curvature of the atmosphere under so we can like do like a really deep blue up here for the atmosphere, and then fade it out into like that purple radiance that he was suggesting, like here and here, to get this sort of an effect going. So I think these are samples that he provided of like the gist that he's looking for. So I think what we're offering here hits that kind of flavor, but I just want to make sure I punch those up into the reference document so we can reference that stuff later on. Yeah, this is where this is where the piece is at right now. So, thank you. So when we come back, assuming that this or one of these derivatives is approved by the client, which is always the most important part, getting the client's approval first before we move too far forward, we'll then be able to come back and start playing with color ideas about how to make all this sit together. But I just want to make sure the base composition, the sketch of it, is something that he likes before I start diving in to try to work on atmospheric changes and like saturation and light dark mixture to have the thing pop in the proper places. So we've just about hit our hour, and so there we go. So, yep, we've just hit our hour mark. So that's about all I got the time for right now. Our clock's going to pop off in about a minute and a half. So I'm going to put this forward to our client, see if he likes this as a base or to compare it against the other 4 derivatives that we have, or the other 3, the 4 versions in total that we have here as our base sketch ideas, to see which one he likes best. Yeah, I just think this one's the strongest. So we'll put that forward. If he likes it, then we'll come back next time and we'll start dropping in color splotches just to see how we can make things balance out to make different elements pop from the page properly. And then once the color palette in general is approved, we can go in and we can start doing rendering. We'll be able to come back in, and as you can see here, we have a slew of different types of brushes that we've developed that we'll be able to use. Like a lot of these brushes we'll be able to make use of, like this mountain chalk brush, the mountain feature brush, this mountain chisel here we'll be able to use. We'll be using probably some confer tips. The mountain block we might use a little bit. We'll be using the half stroke, the brush burst, or a bush burst spin, the grass lashes. We'll definitely be using the cloud spin, foliage spin potentially. I don't think we need a prickle brush, but yeah, a good 5 or 6 of these. We're going to make use of these different types of brushes that I created specifically to be able to do this landscape sort of stuff. And once I start using it, you'll be able to see how that Bob Ross sort of like tapping the canvas works. So you'll be able to see how I blend all those Bob Ross techniques to be able to do like actual like illustration work. So, yep, there's my time mark for the day. So I'm going to go ahead and bounce out of here. I stream every morning. I'll be back in approximately I'll be back in about 16 hours to continue Spelljammer creature token art. Tomorrow is tomorrow Thursday or is tomorrow Wednesday? What day is this? This is Wednesday. Holy shit. Okay, so tomorrow's Thursday, so that means we're going to be doing some NPC token stuff in the morning. And then in about 29 hours, we'll be back on continuing the Eberron cartography work on the village, coloring the village. But I might be able to squeeze in a little bit if I can get an approval for the sketch. Then I can come back and I could probably squeeze in another hour somewhere in here to be able to work on the color palette. Yeah, and then we'll just proceed from there. So like, subscribe, guys. Hit the bell icon to follow me. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's down below, Phil Kearney. I always post when I'm live. Check out the books that I've created. If you want to support me, you can do so through Patreon by liking and subscribing to my channel here on YouTube. Dropping $1 or $4 on Patreon, or buying any of the D&D books that I've built that are posted down below as well. So that's it for today. I will be back tomorrow morning in 16 hours. And oh, hey, Cash. I don't think I've seen you hanging around a lot. Sorry to catch you here at the tail end of the day. But we'll be back on tomorrow twice. And we stream 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. I take the day off for my family on Sunday. I stream every morning, Monday through Saturday. I'm online at night on Mondays and Thursdays. I do a lunch stream on Tuesdays. And I'm looking to start doing a lunch stream either on Monday or Wednesday. I actually have a D&D lunch game that I run for my coworkers at lunch. It's an 18th level campaign right now. In Eberron, we start at level 1. Before the pandemic, we play for about an hour and a half each week. At lunchtime once a week, which is typically on Wednesdays, but I think next week it's going to be on Monday. So I may be back on Wednesday next week to do this or something else. But we got about 3 or 4 different irons in the fire right now. So we got a lot going on here. Got a couple different playlists in my YouTube channels. So if you want to check out the different work that we've been at, you're certainly welcome to check it out. But otherwise, the best way to support the channel is just consume some hours of content, subscribe to the channel so I can continue to accumulate followers. And if you think this shit is cool, share it with somebody. And I will see you guys on the other side. Thanks a lot.